So how does France compare with some of its European neighbours when it comes to retirement age? Well, Iceland has the highest retirement age in Europe at 67 years. In the UK, the retirement age is now 66, but it is due to rise to 68 before the end of the 2030s. Norwegians, Italians and Greeks can retire the earliest at the age of 62, but only if they've clocked up enough contributions in work. Well, let's talk now to Jacques, who is Senior Research Fellow with the London-based Global Policy Institute. Good to have you back on the programme. So we saw more than 1 million people turn out for the last strikes. Is this strike supported by as many people this time?
Yes, indeed, it is supported by many people, and we've seen that actually the number of demonstrators today seems even higher than a week ago. So, which is quite an achievement, and there is indeed a hardening of the population towards this reform. Now you have about 2/3 of the people who are opposed to the reform, but at the same time, the paradox is that 2/3 of the French people think that this reform will be adopted by Parliament. So at the same time, what is interesting that people are ready to demonstrate, but today the number of strikers was down compared to the last time. And it's due to a combination of factors. The fact that people find it hard to, with the cost of living at the moment, are not ready to lose a day of pay through strikes. So they've decided to put the pressure in the street, and for example, in order to even increase the numbers, have demonstrations on Saturdays so that everyone can come, because some people could not come because they could not afford to be on strike for the march.
And pension reform is really a long-running problem for the French government over the years, isn't it? And it's something that they really do have to fix.
Yes, I mean, a number of struggles over pension reforms over the last 20 years is quite striking. We had the reform in 2007, 2010, when Sarkozy raised the age, but this time demonstrations lasted for months. But at the same time, Nicolas Sarkozy had a strong majority in Parliament and was able to push through the raising of retirement age to 62. In 2014, Elisabeth Touraine, the socialist, faced big demonstrations, but got a reform through, even though the reform was meant to adapt a bit later after the left government. So it's always a very contentious. Issues are all issues in France which attack what the French call their acquis sociaux, their social benefits, and the French are ready to fight tooth and nails for anything that encroaches on what they perceive as their rights. And that's one of the reasons, maybe, why France is the most generous country regarding social welfare, pensions, and so on in the EU. And the people don't want to see that. France has a public spending of 58%, which is the highest in Europe. France redistributes a lot of money, but that doesn't matter. The French people say we don't like any attack on our rights, and as a result of that, maybe that's why France has such a generous welfare system, is because the people are always ready to fight.
OK, Jacques Reland from the Global Policy Institute. Good to talk to you. Thank you for joining us.